Today, let's delve into a story that can bring tears to your eyes and hope to your heart. It's about Chris Gardner, The Pursuit of Happyness. Many of you may have seen the famous film The Pursuit of Happyness, starring Will Smith. However, behind that movie lies a real, raw, and powerful story of a man, Chris Gardner, who rose from having nothing, wandering the streets with his young son, to eventually becoming a millionaire and one of America's most inspiring figures. Chris Gardner's journey teaches us that to be happy, you don't just fight against society or your circumstances. You also have to battle your own fears and self-limiting beliefs. Chris Gardner was born in 1954 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, into crushing poverty and chaos. His childhood was far from peaceful. His mother was often abused by her alcoholic partner, and Chris was even placed in foster care due to the instability at home. Imagine being dealt such a tough hand at a young age. Would you give up, feel anger, or blame the world? Chris nearly surrendered many times, but it was perhaps those difficult days that forged an unmatched resilience and taught him a vital life lesson. No one can take away my mom's smile from me. The most important lesson Chris learned was to always hold on to gratitude and hope, no matter the obstacles. After leaving the Navy, Chris tried various jobs: medical assistant, medical device salesman, but struggled to make ends meet. The tensions in his marriage grew until his wife left, leaving Chris as a single dad caring for his little boy Christopher, who was barely 2 years old. Put yourself in his shoes. A single dad with nothing but a young son and slim hope for the future. Chris has said, "There was only one reason why I didn't give up, my son." He lost his apartment, had no money, and found himself homeless, sleeping in shelters and sometimes even hiding overnight in a train station bathroom to keep his son warm and safe. In America, we hear about homelessness all the time, but do we truly grasp what it's like? A father determined to comfort his child, whispering, "It's going to be all right," in their darkest hours. Chris Gardner refused to accept defeat. One day, while visiting a hospital, he noticed a man stepping out of a shining red Ferrari. Instead of feeling envious, Chris boldly asked, "What do you do for a living?" The man replied, "I'm a stockbroker." With no fancy degrees, no finance experience, and not even a home to return to, Chris still dared to apply for a non-paid internship at Dean Witter Reynolds, a top brokerage firm. The competition was fierce, hundreds vying for a single position. Even finding enough money for transportation each day was a struggle, but Chris didn't quit. He woke up early, studied, pushed through every challenge, and picked up his son every night so they could find somewhere to sleep. Pause for a second. How many of us would risk everything for an unpaid dream while everyone around warns that it's hopeless? Chris's determination carried him through, one day at a time. Bad luck seemed relentless. Chris often had just a few coins to his name, needing to eat at soup kitchens or survive on plain bread. But he never blamed the world. As Gardner put it, "You can only depend on yourself. The cavalry ain't coming." What kept him going? The laughter of his son. "Seeing my boy safe and happy every night gave me the strength to go on." He would take his son to the park, play, and tell funny stories, anything to make sure little Christopher never felt deprived, never realized how desperate their situation was. That's the power of human connection. A father's love choosing self-sacrifice so his child might someday have a better future. After months of unpaid work, worn out and on the edge, Chris Gardner was chosen as the one and only to stay on as a full-time broker. That unforgettable moment, the same one the movie made so powerful, he ran out of the office, tears in his eyes, hugging his son for dear life. For the first time, Chris truly felt the happiness he'd fought so hard to find. He said, "The world is your oyster. It's up to you to find the pearls." Soon after, Chris worked harder than ever, becoming a top-performing broker, then launching his own firm, Gardner Rich & Co., which grew into one of Chicago and Wall Street's respected independent brokerages. There are at least 3 big takeaways from Chris Gardner's journey. 1. No one but yourself can decide your fate. No top degrees, no connections, but he had unstoppable will and resilience. 2. No situation is too bad to hold on to hope. From public bathrooms to shelters in the streets, Chris always stayed optimistic. He chose kindness, never bitterness. 3. Happiness is not the end, it's the courage to keep fighting. As Chris said, the pursuit of happiness is what makes it worthwhile. Today, Chris Gardner is not just a business role model, he's among America's top motivational speakers. He travels the country sharing his story, building foundations to help single-parent families, disadvantaged kids, and job seekers. Chris once shared, "I hold one thing most precious, my ability to choose who I want to become." Maybe all of us, no matter our situation, have that same power, so long as we own our story and dare to pursue our own happiness. Chris Gardner's story reminds us, happiness is not some final destination. It's the courage to keep walking the path, no matter how crooked or hard. Today, maybe you're not rich yet, maybe you haven't made it, or you're still searching for yourself. But the most important thing is, don't stop moving forward. Remember this, you got a dream, you got to protect it. If you want something, go get it. So ask yourself, if today is a new beginning, what would you do differently? Will you keep walking or will you stop? Thank you for listening and being with Motivational Success Stories. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and follow our channel for more inspiring journeys. Wishing you strength, hope, and an unstoppable pursuit of happiness.